This club right here is now a church, and it was my introduction into the industry. I had a slow introduction into the industry, but it took an abrupt turn. Sam owned this, and he ran it. It was called the Greenery, and came in here. I was actually homeless, sleeping in the back seat of an abandoned car, just newly released out of foster care, and I had nowhere to go. When you're 18, you age out the system, and so I was sleeping in the back seat of this abandoned car at my boy's house in the back, because his mom couldn't stand me, and she thought I was sleeping with her son, but I wasn't. He was just really trying to care for me as a person, you know. And so I ended up getting a job, coming here, answering an ad in the paper for a waitress job, and ended up coming in and meeting the doorman and found out it was a strip club. I didn't know anything about strip clubs. And came back the next day and worked. My first night made 50 bucks, and you know, second night 50, 60 bucks. Weekend came over 100, and I was able to rent a room in a house and get out of the back seat of that car. And I've discovered a way of taking care of myself. I didn't feel like I was being exploited, even though I was being exploited. I was being taught to hustle. I was being taught the game. I was taught how to take off my clothes on stage. I was taught how to hustle men for money. I was taught how to make my quota at the bar on my drinks. You know, it was like 12 drink quota, 12 drinks you had to make to get your money. And even though I was being exploited, I didn't know I was. And the club owner here, he was actually pretty decent to me. He treated me like a daughter in some way. I didn't grow up with a father, so he called me kiddo. And he would always say, kiddo, you need to stay here with me. Stay here and hang out with me, kiddo, and I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of. Kiddo, you don't want to leave my club, because these other club owners, they're not like me, and they're not gonna do you how I can do you. And if you stay here with me, kid, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna watch out for you, and I'm gonna make sure no one hurts you. And I believed him, because I was out here on my own. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anyone, and I believed him. So I stuck around, and I learned what he was teaching me. And he paired me with a girl, but the girl he paired me with had a drug habit, and I ended up with one, eventually two. This life here at this club introduced me to snorting powder, smoking cocaine, crack, and eventually shooting cocaine. And when I left here, I ran into other club owners who raped me, and I knew exactly what Sam was talking about when he said he'd watch out for me, because the other ones, they didn't. Even though I was being exploited here, I was not being exploited at a level that I was at other clubs. It took me a long time to realize I was actually trafficked. And during this era and this time in the late 80s, early 90s, these clubs ran the city. I ran a lot around here. Undercover. I ran a lot. If a girl came missing back in the day, she was just a Jane Doe, especially when the police found out she was out here like this in one of these places. Her life wasn't considered worth too much. I'm grateful I never was a Jane Doe.